What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the stimulus package update, pretty much everything you need to know about on a daily basis, money, investing, the stock market. And remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. So we have some good news and some bad news to report here today. What do you want first? Well, let's go with the bad news first, and then we'll go with the good news second. All right, here's the bad news first. Couple different things. Number one is gas prices are probably going to be getting even higher. That's right. Gas prices are going to be getting even higher. As you can see here from last night, U.S. oil prices have skyrocketed $120 a barrel up from when they were actually negative $40 a barrel from when the U.S. economy was closed in April 2020. Crude is on track to finish Monday above $80 a barrel from closing last night for the first time in 7 years. So gas prices and oil continue to go up with the stock market, especially now that we're not on expected to have a default of the country. That vote is expected later today in the House of Representatives, and at least for a temporary time being. And unfortunately, we may see gas prices go even higher. Now, these are exacerbated a little bit, even more because of the hurricanes that came through. We're still seeing some temporary price increases from Gulf of Mexico closures and some temporary price increases from several weeks ago from the refineries and all the problems there from the hurricanes. That will be alleviated here in the coming weeks, at least a little bit from that situation. But the price of oil globally and the trade continues to go up. So remember, supply and demand affects the price of gas and the price of oil. That is a big bulk of how gas is traded and the price of it. So expect the price of gas to continue to go up in the near term. Yeah, unfortunately. Also, some Fox News reports that some economists say that U.S. is headed into another recession if the consumer sentiment trend continues the way it's going right now. And that every recession since the 1980s has been precipitated by at least a 10-point drop in the expectation indices they found. Other reliable indicators include a single monthly rise of at least 0.3 percentage points in unemployment and 2 consecutive months of employment rate declines. These economists say the economic situation in 2021 is exceptional, however, since the unprecedented direct government intervention in the labor market through furlough-type arrangements has enabled employment rates to recover quickly from the huge downturn in 2020. However, downward movements in consumer expectations in the last 6 months suggest the economy in the United States is entering recession now. And we have seen a lot of struggling economic indicators, as well as the recent September jobs report, the August jobs report. The economy is barely adding jobs. And this is with unemployment bonuses that have been completely ended. As you can see here, this headline pretty much says it all. Unemployment benefits ended, but hiring did not surge in September. And really, in August and the previous months, we had half the states, 25 Republican states, the Republican governors opted out of the $300 per week unemployment bonuses. And well, half the states ended it, and unemployment jobs didn't surge up. New jobs didn't surge. And now the unemployment benefit bonuses have ended in all the states, and hiring didn't surge anywhere. And well, we've had some interesting headlines like this one. President Biden downplays disastrous September jobs report and touts pandemic success. I can't blame him. If I was the president, I'd be trying to make it sound as good as I could too. I mean, But I mean, honestly, the jobs report was a disaster. It's the worst jobs report we've had of the year. And the jobs reports have been getting worse and worse and worse and worse. We had only 194,000 jobs added in the entire country in September. And even CNN, a typically Democratic station, couldn't spin it positive for the president, calling it another disappointment. U.S. economy adds only 194,000 jobs in September. This is for the whole country. Remember, we have 330 million plus people in the United States, and yet we added only 194,000 jobs for the whole country. Not for one state, the entire country. I mean, I can't blame the president for trying to spin that positive, but that's the worst jobs report of the entire year. And as I said, the jobs reports are really going down, down, down. The numbers are getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And if they continue this way, the next one or two are going to be near zero or even negative because they're just getting worse. And this is with the unemployment bonuses now gone. People thought, oh, just get rid of the unemployment bonuses. There's millions of people out there that they're just milking the unemployment. And I get the theory, right? It made sense. I mean, I would have thought it too, right? Like, I mean, you got to think, okay, there's a lot of people out there, and this is just a theory. I'm not saying, I'm not pointing fingers or anything, but you would think that a logical person would say, there's got to be a lot of people out there that they're not really looking for work. They're just they're getting $300 per week bonus, and they're getting their state unemployment. That's got to be $200, $300, $400 a week for some people. So even if we take the low end of $200 a week plus $300 a week, they're getting $500 a week. So there's got to be a lot of people just not really looking for work that much, right? They're just taking their $500 a week, and they're probably thinking, whenever it runs out, then they'll go look for work, right? Well, the $300 per week has ended now for several weeks now, like almost a month now, right? And the jobs numbers haven't really gotten any better at all. So the question is, now what? And I think everybody's starting to realize now, yeah, maybe we're actually in a recession. Maybe the pandemic actually has a lot more to do with it than just people not wanting to go to work. I mean, it was a good thought. I mean, any rational person would have probably thought, yeah, I mean, there probably is some people there. I mean, if we're just thinking about it realistically here, not pointing fingers at anybody, it's just thinking about millions and millions of people. They'd say, yeah, as a rational person, a realistic person saying, and we're just thinking about numbers here. There are probably some people doing that. How many? Well, we won't really know until the unemployment bonuses are end, and uh, unfortunately, they did it. There was probably a lot of people that really needed that unemployment bonus. But you always get some bad apples that spoil it for the good apples. And nonetheless, they ended it. Whether you think it was good, bad, or good for some people, bad for some people, they just didn't have the votes to pass it. We had a lot of moderate Democrats that didn't want to vote for it. No Republicans wanted to vote for it. Remember, all the Republican governors opted out of it. Not a single Republican from the Senate or the House was going to vote for it. And even some moderate Democrats weren't going to vote for it. So nonetheless, they just couldn't pass it anymore. Everybody said it was time to go back to work. So they got rid of the unemployment bonuses, and guess what? Not many people went back to work. So the question is that people either don't want to go back to work because of the pandemic, they're scared, or they feel they're worth more, they want to be paid more, or the economy is really bad, or there's other factors at play here. You let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Now, get this. In relation to the stimulus package, what it actually means to cut $1 trillion from the Democrats' big social spending bill, the stimulus package bill, the American Families Plan. To cut $1 trillion, to go from 3.5 trillion to 2.5 trillion, or to go from 3.5 trillion to 1.5 trillion, or even to 2 trillion. Check out this headline right here. Slashing Biden's spending bill to 1.5 trillion would mean 2 million fewer jobs each year. 2 million fewer jobs each year, according to a progressive economic think tank. So, according to this progressive economic think tank, they ran the numbers, and by having to reduce the price tag from 3.5 trillion to 1.5 trillion, I don't think they're going to have to go that low. Now, I think it's going to be somewhere between 2 trillion and 2.9 trillion. But just to kind of give the idea here, if they had to go as low as 1.5 trillion, which is what Senator Joe Manchin did, or what he wanted at first, that it would reduce. Because remember that all this money is kind of gonna go to back into the economy, and when it goes back into the economy, people have money to spend. Wherever you spend the money, even if you just go spend it at Walmart, it creates jobs at Walmart. It creates jobs for the delivery men, delivering the food at Walmart. It creates jobs at the food production companies. It creates jobs everywhere, right? I mean, they say that when you spend $1, it goes as much as $5 into the economy because of all the places, all the jobs that it goes around, right? So when you spend $1, it creates as much as $5 going around into the economy, right? You have the Amazon delivery guys. You have the people working at Amazon, people working at Walmart, the USPS drivers. I mean, you think about all the different people that are involved in everywhere, right? And everybody's jobs that are created and everywhere, right? And then you think about all the jobs that are going to be created with the infrastructure package, the stimulus package. Even when you think about climate change, they want to create green energy. They want to create jobs in solar, jobs with electric cars, Tesla's hiring tens of thousands of people, just as an example. I mean, there's all this money is going to create jobs in all sorts of places. They said that the infrastructure package, the physical infrastructure package, is going to hire millions and millions of Americans over the course of 10 years with just the infrastructure package alone. So if they have to cut this package, this progressive economic think tank actually ran the numbers, and it would mean 2 million fewer jobs each year. Each year. Ouch. Now, there is some other interesting news, though. I'm seeing a lot of news like this. Even CNN, all sorts of different places are reporting this. President Biden has set a target between 1.9 and 2.2 trillion dollars. And Senator Bernie Sanders has called this out as fake news. We've even had him on the show. And I'm not saying that CNN or Fox News or any particular news station is reporting this as fake news, because there is a lot of news out there as President Biden said this. But Bernie Sanders has kind of refuted this as kind of a rumor or a fake news kind of, because honestly, this kind of got out in the news, and Bernie Sanders kind of said, well, that's not really what the president said. And this kind of got blown out of proportion. Senator Bernie Sanders says he has spoken to the president, and that's not necessarily what the case. They're still negotiating. Both Senator Bernie Sanders and Pramila Jayapal, who's the leader of the Progressive Democratic Caucus, which is like 100 Democrats in the House. Pramila Jayapal wants the package to be 2.5 trillion to 2.9 trillion. Now, remember that the larger the stimulus package is, the more items they can include in there, the more stimulus items in there. They can include a forced stimulus check in there for as little as $100 to $200 billion for a adult stimulus check on top of everything else. So that's actually pretty good news, because the higher they fight to have that, the more money that they fight to keep in there, they can add in all sorts of things in there at the last moment. Remember that the second stimulus check was actually added in there 6 days before they passed the bill. They wrote the bill and everything and didn't even have the second stimulus check in there. So just keep that in mind. So you want them to have a larger stimulus package in there. So two of the Democratic leaders, Senator Bernie Sanders, who's the Senate Budget Chairman, largely the person who's considered in charge of the entire package, the VIP, the most important person of the entire package, besides maybe the president. The president's not really involved in the day-to-day negotiations and the writing the bill. He has negotiated with Senator Joe Manchin, I believe, 3 times, but largely it's Congress mostly because generally, I mean, the president is not typically involved in day-to-day operations. Although, as I said, President Biden has been involved several different times with meetings. He's met with Joe Manchin, I think, 3 times personally himself. But largely, it's Congress, the House, and the Senate. So Bernie Sanders is largely considered the person in charge of the whole package. He's also the person in charge of the reconciliation process. And from the House, we have Nancy Pelosi and Pramila Jayapal. And really, it's Democrats because the Republicans are not. They're pretty much out of this because remember, Republicans are not going to vote for this, and no Republicans voted yes in the initial vote to proceed, and not a single Republican voted yes on the third stimulus check package. Sometimes I get people saying, "Jimmy, why aren't you showing what the Republicans are saying about this package?" Well, the Republicans are saying no for this package. The Democrats are passing this package without the Republicans, and that's why I periodically mention that. Not a single Republican voted yes on the third stimulus check package either, just so everybody's clear on that. I mention that from time to time. The Republicans and the Democrats are much more involved right now, at least on a bipartisan basis, with the physical infrastructure package. That's a two-party two-party package, and the debt limit ceiling. They got a lot going on there as well. So they're really fighting to keep this package on a larger size. The larger it is, that would be better news for keeping more types of stimulus items in there. And typically, from the second stimulus check package and the third stimulus check package, they added stimulus items in there at the last moment. The second stimulus check package and the second stimulus check and the third stimulus check package, they added in the $10,200 unemployment tax-free provision, which literally provided an extra check for anybody that had unemployment income uh, from anywhere from a few $100s to a few $1,000s. I also wanted to mention this here that I thought this was pretty good news here. This may be an extra type of mini stimulus check here for could be a lot of people. State orders new car insurance stimulus checks. It's not an actual stimulus check, but it's a type of stimulus check. Are you due for another refund? I thought this was pretty interesting. Check this out. Fourth stimulus check advocates in at least one state are still pushing car insurance companies to hand you some stimulus cash. Some car insurers paid discounts and rebates to policyholders when they reaped soaring profits as Americans stayed home more during the great driving slowdown in 2020, basically when the government shut everything down. And that's also what sent the gas prices really, really, really low because demand went really, really low. And that's when we've seen gas near $1. Yet government official advocacy groups and a class action lawsuit argue it wasn't nearly enough. If you're paying full price, here's how you might get another discount from your car insurer, plus some other strategies to help you slash your monthly bill. This state is out of patience with car insurers. California's insurance chief recently issued a stark warning to 3 auto insurance companies reimburse customers for excess premiums since the beginning of the pandemic or face legal action. The companies have a month to explain their plans under the order by the insurance commissioner Ricardo Lara. On behalf of consumers, I am out of patience, Lara says in a statement. These insurance companies have 30 days to tell us once and for all how they are going to make it right before we take further action. Wow. The insurance targeted by the order had the largest gaps between the amounts they refunded drivers already, basically gave them a refund check, or some call it a stimulus check, and the amount they should have paid back. The insurance department said, the California Insurance Department says, but this is good for all states here. This is just the California Insurance Department really fighting back against these insurance companies. The companies cover 1 in 5 California drivers. Allstate, Northbrook Indemnity Company, Mercury Insurance Company, and CSAA Insurance Exchange. A state analysis found that insurers returned an average of 9% of auto premiums from March to September 2020, but the insurance department estimates that they should have refunded nearly double the amount, 17%, over a 7-month period. And these car insurancers are under siege for more rebates. During the worst of the pandemic, driving dropped well below pre-pandemic levels, meaning fewer accidents and big profits for auto insurancers. Progressive Insurance reported an 82% increase in net income, while Geico's pre-tax earnings tripled during the second and third quarters of 2020. In recognition, insurancers provided voluntarily gave out more than $14 billion in refunds. $1 billion with a B, and credits last year, and American Property Casualty Insurance Association said. So these insurance companies have already provided $14 billion in refunds and may be providing even more. And just one state, like the California Insurance Coalition or whatever it was, is looking for them to dole out more refunds. And beyond California's order for more refunds, states like Washington and New Mexico are taking initial steps, and Massachusetts Attorney General has sent several pointed letters to states' insurance regulators. The conflict ended up in courts with multiple class action lawsuits filed this year in Nevada and Illinois. Woo! On average, advocacy groups say insurers shortchange policyholder by $125 per vehicle. So let our viewers know, let me know, let our viewers know if you got a rebate check, stimulus check from your insurance company down below in the comments. You might be receiving another one. It doesn't hurt to ask. I do want to say another little tip here. I know this from the past, and it doesn't hurt to ask. You can call your auto insurance and your home insurance and say, hey, can I get a discounted rate? Can I get a lower rate? I heard that there were other companies offering lower rates, and you never know. You might call and just ask and say, hey, I heard that there were rebates going around because of the situation. You can maybe explain it. You also can say, I heard that other companies were offering lower rates. Can you offer me a lower rate? I've been a loyal company for X amount of years. Now, you might not get a lower rate, but you also might get a lower rate. 50-50 chance. But if it takes 15 minutes of your time, you never know. You might just get a lower rate. And I've mentioned this in the past before, when the first time around, when these stimulus checks idea came around. And I remember seeing some comments from a bunch of people saying, you know what, Jimmy, that was a good idea. I called and I actually got a lower rate. Now, again, it's maybe a 50-50 chance, but if you're just sitting around today and you got some extra time, call them up, ask them, and you never know. They might, even if they discounted your insurance by $10 a month, that's $120 per year. That's an extra $120. I mean, that's not bad for an extra 20 minutes of your time. So feel free to give it a try. You never know. Then you can be like, hey, thanks, Jimmy. You saved me an extra $120. Hey, if it's $20 a month, that could be $240 a year. You never know. This works with your home insurance, car insurance, any type of insurance you have. It doesn't hurt to ask, right? And you know what you could always do? You can always shop around too. That's another thing that people do periodically, and they do actually end up saving a lot of money that way. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I will keep you up to date with new videos here on the stimulus and day-to-day everything you need to know about here on our channel. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. Let me know if you get a stimulus rebate check from your car insurance, or if you've already gotten one, it'll let our viewers know. You never know if you've got 50 bucks, 25 bucks, 100 bucks. That would be pretty cool. So I'll keep you up to date with everything. Subscribing is completely free to do so. You can click here to watch my newest stimulus check video. You can also share this video down below with your friends and family. Maybe they want to know about these how to get money from your car insurance company. That'd be a pretty interesting thing to know about as well. And right here is how there could be a $1,400 stimulus check in the next stimulus package. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.